This is everything you need to know to get jacked so fast it feels illegal. Without following this first step, you're gonna struggle to put on even a single pound of muscle, as I struggled with for the first 3 years of my fitness journey. See, it wasn't until I made this one small shift that everything changed. And in a matter of 2 months during quarantine, I made more progress than I did in the prior 3 years, only applying a fraction of what I know today. And that's one key, was one of them that allowed me to make all these gains. And when I came back to my social group, my friends, they were all impressed by this transformation I made, and they were asking me for advice. Even though all of us were in the gym, they were like, how'd you get so big? What did you do? And this one key was the first thing that was absolutely necessary to making this sort of transformation. The first thing you need to do is become anabolic. Having high test is absolutely essential and required if you want to grow. This is gonna be the main factor that allows you to put on muscle. So I went from a low test geek to a high test gorilla in a very short period of time. And there's 3 key areas that you need to focus on. The first one is going to be diet. It is absolutely essential that you get this dialed in. Without it, nothing else will matter. See, the mistake that I was making my entire fitness journey for the prior 3 years up until this point was I was eating in a calorie deficit, thinking that I needed abs and I wanted to be lean, and I thought that this was gonna allow me to look good, and I was afraid to eat and actually, eat a lot to put on muscle. But the thing is, when I made this switch over to bulking, eating more food, eating in a calorie surplus, this is when my test was actually able to go up to healthier levels, and I was able to fuel that growth that I needed. I was able to put on muscle for the first time ever, as to before where I was constantly just eating in a deficit, not allowing my body to be anabolic or support any sort of muscle growth. So the things that I started doing was I was eating whole foods, things like grass-fed ground beef, salmon, oats, raw milk. I'm trying to think of all the other things I ate, but it's just basically all the whole foods. Pasta, like Banza pasta now, it's a chickpea pasta, it's got protein and carbs. There's so many different things that I eat, which are whole food based meals, which will allow you to hit your macro goals between protein, carbs, fats, and this is really what you need in order to sustain high testosterone. You really need those whole foods. This is gonna be the most essential part to maintaining high testosterone and also being able to support muscle growth. They go hand in hand. This next area can give you a very quick increase in testosterone and overall performance in the gym. And this is going to be supplements. For the first time ever, I started taking supplements during that phase in quarantine. I started taking creatine. I took this thing called laxagenin. I was always experimenting with the different natural testosterone boosters or, anabolic supplements. And that was the first time I started taking them. And I actually saw really, really good progress from this. So I'm gonna tell you the best ones that I've used now over the last 5 years of my fitness journey that will actually allow you to get some significant increases to your testosterone and your gains overall. But just to notice, this shouldn't be the thing that you rely on the most. Diet is going to be the most important, and we're gonna also dive in to the other areas that are gonna help you out. This is just meant to give you that extra boost, the little bit extra on top to get you that extra gains. It's kind of like adding, a beginner taking steroids. It would be absolutely unnecessary. You need to have all the foundations, in place, and then adding supplements to the mix will give you that extra boost, but you need to have the basics covered, and then the supplements will be so much more powerful. So these are the ones that will actually allow you to make the most gains. First one's going to be creatine monohydrate. I actually don't take this anymore because it messes with my stomach, but this is something that can really help you make quick increases in strength, not as much for testosterone, but it is just a good supplement overall. The next one, this is the best testosterone supplement I've ever personally used, is going to be Tongarali and Fedoja agrestis. Those two combined are extremely powerful. Every time I've taken them, I have leaned up, gained strength, and just been an overall animal in the gym. I've heard that Fedoja agresti is a little bit more dangerous in terms of like toxicity. It can give you quicker boost in testosterone, but it has that little bit of factor of toxicity to it, whereas Tongarali is more long-term safe, and it's something that you can take without having to worry about it affecting your liver or whatever. So you take that information as you like. You can use both, or you can just use Tongarali if you want to be more longevity focused. And the next one is going to be D3. The sunlight, you can take it in a pill form, Either way, you need to be getting vitamin D in on a consistent basis. This is gonna be one of the most helpful things for producing testosterone. You can take way more than you think you can. You can actually take 10,000 IU a day. If you split up between morning and night, this will seriously boost your testosterone. The next thing is going to be actually derived from a food, which is cholesterol. Cholesterol comes from eggs. Like, you can get it from many foods, but one of the best sources is going to be eggs. So if you have eggs on a consistent basis, this is going to give you more than enough of that dose of cholesterol. And cholesterol is actually the precursor to testosterone. So this is going to really, really help you out. Another cool one is going to be Brazil nuts. This has selenium in it, and this is something that really helps with testosterone. That's the nutrient within it that gives you the boost, but it is the highest concentration within Brazil nuts, and it's gonna be the most natural raw form. So I'd recommend getting selenium from that source. And you can take 2 or 3 in the morning and night, and this is gonna do a ton for your testosterone. Let me just check. Also zinc and magnesium, but I would recommend just getting this from a multivitamin. I don't really think you need to supplement beyond what you would get from a good quality multivitamin. These are all the supplements that I've used over a consistent long-term basis that have allowed me to have high test, and it gives me that extra edge in the gym. Now, lastly, for becoming anabolic, the specific type of training you do will massively have an impact on your testosterone. See, you can either be raising your cortisol levels and killing your gains in test, or you can be working out so that your test is going to be boosted through the roof. Cortisol is actually going to really lower your test and your gains as a whole. So if you're training the wrong way, which most of you probably are, and I've made this mistake myself for years, you're actually going to be doing more harm than doing helpful things for yourself. See, so many people are in the gym every single day, training weights, lifting heavy, not realizing that this is actually causing your body stress, increasing your cortisol levels, which in return decreases testosterone and also the gains that you're gonna make. The type of training that you wanna be doing, if you wanna be boosting your test, getting stronger, and actually making gains, is only working out 2 to 3 times per week full body. I am currently working out full body every 4th day, and this is allowing me to make the most gains, hitting PRs every single workout, and really having high test, doing less, which is crazy to think. Less is actually gonna be more when it comes to weights, the gym, progressive overload. You don't need a ton of volume. You don't need to work out every single day if you wanna get jacked. You need to focus on 90% compound exercises, progressively overloading those, getting stronger consistently. This is actually what's gonna signal your body to increase test and also grow the muscle. The pump training, working out every single day is not doing anything for you, and you need to lose that mindset as a whole. And we're gonna dive into this more in just a second. So here's the exact full body split that's allowed me to get my dream physique, working out only 2 hours per week. And I know what you're thinking, this is probably some BS. And that's what I thought too when I first discovered this training philosophy in the 4-hour body. I was absolutely blown away, and I didn't believe it until I tried it. And now over a year and a half, I've actually been following this method and only been getting stronger and bigger. So I'm telling you, it works. I now only work out every 4th day, training full body, progressively overloading compound lifts, only doing 1 or 2 isolations for biceps, rear delts, the muscles that won't get hit enough in the compounds. And this has allowed me to achieve my dream physique, working out less than ever before. Before I get into the exact exercises, you need to understand these 3 key things for this training philosophy to actually work for you. The first is that less is more. This is the philosophy that this entire book and training style revolves around, saying that muscles recover much slower than you actually think. A lot of people think that it takes about 48 hours or 72 hours for a muscle to recover. The thing is, that's only gonna give you adequate recovery. Look it up on ChatGPT, and it's gonna say adequate recovery in about 48 to 72 hours. And if you look up what adequate means, adequate is not fully recovered. So full recovery takes about 5 to 10 days. If you're constantly training every single day, where muscles are overlapping in the splits that you're doing, you're always hitting these muscles, raising your cortisol, and gonna be in a perpetual state of recovery, always trying to get back to 100%. Basically, what this training philosophy does is it removes that. It says that less is more, that you need to actually allow your body to have more recovery so that you're working from, let's just say you start out at 100% recovered. You work out, you go down to 85. By the time you hit your next workout, you've recovered to 105. You're stronger and actually ready to hit that next PR. And then you just create this perpetual upward cycle of gains and progress in the gym, actually allowing yourself to progressively overload quicker than ever before. And it follows that whole less is more ideology. So this is not just the amount of days that you train, but also the exercises you do, the amount of sets you do. So I only do 2 sets per muscle. The first set is the one where I actually try and track and go for that PR. And the second one is just a back off set to get a little bit more volume. But you want to remove all the junk volume you're doing. It only takes one exercise to failure, progressively overloading that lift to make plenty of gains, really making sure that you come to the gym the next time fully recovered and actually able to hit that next PR. This is going to drive more growth than hitting 5 exercises with 3 sets, doing all junk volume, barely making any progress every time you go in. So this is what's really, really going to actually allow you to make these gains consistently, getting stronger. And it's going to take a little bit before you build up to those higher strengths, but it's like the curvature. So it's like at first you're not going to see much progress, and all of a sudden you're going to start getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and the gains are going to come in super rapidly. So that is this training philosophy, and you really have to stick to it for it to work. So now that you understand the less is more philosophy, if you apply this to the wrong exercises, you're going to be left smaller than a twig, like I was when I was doing calisthenics for the first 3 years of my fitness journey. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick compound exercises to progressively overload. I'm talking about bench press, shoulder press, squats, RDLs or deadlift. These are what are going to actually allow you to get massive if you get really, really strong on them. The Pareto principle, this is the 80-20 rule, states that 80% of the results you get will come from 20% of the inputs. And that is exactly what we're taking advantage of here. You're focusing on that 20% by using those compound exercises. See, I only have 1 or 2 exercises that I do per muscle group. So let me go over chest, for example. I only do incline barbell bench, and I do weighted ring dips to hit the upper and lower head. Let's use legs, for example. For legs, I only do box squats, barbell box squats, and barbell RDLs. That is it, 2 exercises, and I progressively overload them. And we can follow this for every single muscle group, but I think you get the point. I'm only picking 1 or 2 exercises for a specific muscle group and then tracking those and actually getting stronger over them over time. And you want to pick the ones that you can get the strongest on. So this is usually going to be a barbell or dumbbell compound lift. You don't want to be doing this with incline cable flies. You're not going to be able to progress this at the rate that you need to in order to gain the required strength and continual gains that you need in order to make the progress we're talking about with this training style. You need to stick to the heavy compounds, the barbell movements, the dumbbell movements that are the main compound lifts. This is what you want to be focusing on and getting consistently stronger at so that you can actually make these gains. So now, even with the proper split and the perfect exercises chosen, if you make this last mistake, you will sabotage all your gains. And I'm not even exaggerating in the slightest. This has happened to me many times recently. When I stopped doing this one thing, I stopped progressing pretty much immediately. And this is going to be progressive overload plus intensity. If you stop progressing and you stop bringing intensity to your workouts, this is the only thing causing you to grow at the rate that you are. Otherwise, you're just being lazy and not working out that much. Then you'd rather take on the 6 or 7 days a week just being a Jeffrey going in there doing something. But if you're just going in with the mindset of showing up to the gym without intention, without trying to progressively overload and get stronger every single workout, really tracking your lifts, really pushing for that PR, really going to failure, then you're not going to make gains on this system. It's so important that you're in your notes tracking. For example, with my barbell bench press, I'm tracking, today I hit 175 for 13. The previous workout I hit 175 for 9. Before that it was 175 for 8. Every single one of these is tracked, and I know exactly what I need to hit in order to keep getting stronger. And this is how this system will work for you. If you forget about progressive overload, if you don't bring the intensity to your workouts, this is not gonna work. This is so important. I've understood this concept throughout maybe like 2 years now, and every single time I fall off progressing and I stop bringing the intensity is when I stop making gains and my progress stalls. The only person who's gonna sabotage you from making more progress than you've ever imagined is gonna be yourself. And you need to really come to the gym and push yourself and really strive for PRs, because this is what's gonna cause you to make these gains. Like I said, in the beginning, it might be a little slow, but as you get stronger and stronger and stronger on these lifts, you're gonna be stronger than you ever thought was possible, and you're gonna be starting to make gains insanely fast if you follow every single step laid out for you here. So that is the last step. This is everything you need to do. It starts with becoming anabolic, having the right diet, supplementing properly, proper recovery. All these aspects are important. And then it comes down to the actual system itself. I do 2 full body workouts every 4th day, and I use the main compound lifts. The specific exercises, like I told you, they're barbell bench, barbell shoulder press, RDLs, box squats. I do a little bit of isolation for arms, rear delts, lateral raises for the shoulders. But besides that, it's all compounds, very few isolation, progressively overloading every single one of them, getting stronger every workout. And this is what's allowed me to make progress at a rate that is so fast, it feels illegal. And if you got any value from this video, please hit the subscribe button to this channel. On here, I'm gonna be teaching you how to become the best version of yourself and become attractive to girls so you can get the girl of your dreams. If that sounds of interest to you, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Have a great day, everyone.